Hey y'all, it's Vinny and I have a great topic for today's hair video, and that is purple shampoos. So what is a purple shampoo? Typically, a purple shampoo is a temporary hair color. And a temporary hair color, if you remember from my videos on cosmetology, is a hair color product whose molecules are huge and they don't penetrate into the cortex. There's also no mixing of peroxides or anything, and while most companies don't tell you to do a patch test, it is still possible to have an allergic reaction, so I always say better safe than sorry, and patch test if your client would wish, or if they request. So a purple shampoo is a shampoo with purple pigment added. Some also have a little bit of blue, and what this does is this will counteract yellow. So on the color wheel, and I don't have my diagram tool with me, but I'll do this in another video on color theory. If you look at the color wheel, you have purple and yellow. They're complementary colors. That means they neutralize each other. And in terms of hair color, the color wheel works in one direction. You have yellow, you put purple, you neutralize, or rather normalize it. If you lift the hair to pale yellow, purple shampoos can have a toning effect. And this is a product that you can use to tone. Now, typically in the salon, about 40% of what we are doing are blondes. And one of the biggest issues is that hairdressers will either A, overestimate a purple shampoo and try to use it as a toner when the hair is not lightened enough, leading to a terrified guest and an ugly color result, or B, they'll under retail this, and that's for several different reasons. Chances are they don't have a good purple shampoo, because purple shampoos usually will range from super strong, where when you put it on your hands you can just tell that your hands are purple and it ain't coming out, and they come to super weak, where super weak purple shampoo is going to be a product that might be good for that client that's already super light and she just wants something that will counteract a little bit of the brassiness or make her silvery. But what I do is like to have both. I have two purple shampoos, and I'll talk about this in a whole nother video that I recommend. So I have one of them actually in this video, but I have 4 purple shampoos here that I've used, and believe it or not, I'll tell you, out of these 4 products, there's only one in here that I'm gonna keep. The other 3 are so horrible, I'm gonna be tossing them. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is the Pureology's Serious Color Care Strength Cure Best Blonde Shampoo, 100% vegan, and it says is toning and anti-brass for color treated hair. So this product, while it smells amazing and it has a good purple pigment to it, doesn't really do a good job at making the hair feel nice. It actually feels brittle after. The other thing I realized with this product is that the toning effect is not too great. It's pretty minimal and hardly even there. However, the worst of them all was the Watercolors Violet Wash Shampoo. And this was supposed to be a shampoo that maintains and enhances hair color. It says it keeps platinum blondes and grays bright without gold. And it will tell you on the back. The other important thing too, if I haven't already mentioned this, while they typically tell you temporary color does not cause an allergic reaction, recommend to a client that they try it, or if they request it, give it to them, because this does contain a dye and that can cause an allergic reaction. This even says it. This one though, while it says it's free of sulfate, salts, and parabens, the Watercolors, I found that it was very drying to the hair, and then they'll tell you to put the shampoo on for 2 or 3 minutes and repeat if you want. Please don't do this if you already have Watercolors. I have tried it and the hair feels like brittle as straw after. Does not have the pH on here. It also contains, at the bottom of the ingredients, Basic Violet 1 is the last ingredient. So you know that there's very little of the pigment in there, whereas these other shampoos, they have their color higher up on the list. I think in Tuto, their color is a lot higher. It's actually acid violet, and it's one of the first, within the first 10 or 12 ingredients, so you know it's a lot higher up there. So these two, very weak. The only thing that I would rank this is by far the worst because of how bad it makes your hair feel and that there is very little pigment even added. Then I would say that you'd want to try Pureology Strength Best Blonde. Toning is super minimal to virtually non-existent. And the other thing is it has a little bit of a nicer feel compared to the Watercolors. Then we have Provana Perfect Blonde Shampoo. Again, this is sulfate free. Purple toning shampoo. It recommends shampooing, leave on 1 to 5 minutes. Now, this will tell you may cause irritation. I personally don't like the shampoo. My scalp felt really weird and dry after this. And I actually use this, believe it or not, all these purple shampoo products I use for red hair, especially the cool tone reds. I use it to maintain mine because typically with cool reds, they fade orangey or brassy. And what they do is they cancel out that little bit of yellow. So what you're doing is if your hair is on the orangey side, it cancels out that yellow and that orange, and what you're left with is more of a true red instead of that brassy orange that can happen with redheads. And by far my favorite product thus far is the Two-Toe Silver Shampoo, or they call it No Yellow Shampoo. Leave this on 1 to 5 minutes, and I'm telling you, if you leave it on the full 5 minutes, your hair will turn this really cool pastel-y violet gray. This is so excellent. I have stopped using the 9V toners in the salon. So I was one of those guilty stylists, and this was way before I took Lisa's class. Everyone was a cookie cutter client. 20 volume bleach, 9 volume toner. Oh, I told you it looked wonderful, it's so original. 20 volume and bleach, 9V toner. Oh, it's so original, it's wonderful. 20 volume toner, 20 volume bleach, 9V toner. Oh, you know, nah, it doesn't look like the rest, it looks interesting. That was what I was doing, and the hair still felt like junk after, and then what happened was if I didn't lift enough, which by the way, a purple shampoo is not gonna save you from a disaster. If I brought the client to pale yellow, I'd run the toner through. Toner has the ability, believe it or not, to lift on some people, and on those some clients, they come back complaining, oh my gosh, you made me brassy. The Two-Toe Silver Shampoo, you will put it on your hands and your hands are purple. It looks like I had something, like some kind of hand disease. My hand was purple. It took about 4 or 5 hand washes for it to come out. You put this on after a blonde, there is no need for a toner, and you are getting some of your best blondes. And you can even tell the client about it, educate them. Well, I'm shampooing you with Two-Toe Silver Shampoo. Your hair will feel a lot healthier, you know, compared to the toner, and it still tones the hair. So what happens is, you'll do that for your client, even your gray clients. If you have a client who is gray, typically I sell them on the clarifying shampoo and this, if they're gray or if they're a cigarette smoker, because that will take all of the nasty residue off and it leaves them with such a nice light color. So even though this one is a strong shampoo, this one is way stronger than this one. And this one I think also has a slightly more blue base, which means you will get that true white blonde. So before I knew about Two-Toe, I was using Pravana. It was the best that I was really aware of. These two are strong, so if you really can't get this and you're stuck with having to get, you know, one of those kind of name brand things, Pravana is decent. But again, please do whatever you can to try to get Two-Toe because it is one of the best purple shampoos. It also lists, well, it's not on this one, but typically Two-Toe has a pH on the bottle, and they'll tell you that because when you're shampooing, you really want a shampoo that is acidic, pH balance to your hair and scalp. Anyone can say pH balance, but what's that mean? If y'all look back to my videos on hair color and on permanent waves in the My Lady book, pH balance, or what they call acid balance, isn't really an acid. Your hair is naturally a 4.5 to a 5.5. That's when your hair is smiling, it's happy. If you bring your hair out of that, you know, homeostasis, that happy, you know, range of 4.5 to 5.5, well, guess what? That hair starts to get really sad. That cuticle swells and swells and swells, and if you keep going and going, that hair can dissolve and disintegrate. So the Two-Toe is a really good line that is strong. The other one that is not on here, but I have a bottle upstairs, is Fanola. It works very similar to Two-Toe, but I think that Two-Toe is a little bit stronger because Fanola has purple and blue, and what I used to do is mix those two, and that is an acid purple shampoo, so that's a good one too if you can't get Two-Toe. But Two-Toe is a good product and for less money. I also just want to talk a little bit about retailing. I think where a lot of people fall short of retailing is a client tries the purple shampoo. She realizes that, oh, it doesn't work as well. So let's say she's trying watercolors and then she's going to Sally Beauty and saying, oh, Clairol. And then she tries Clairol, you know, Shimmer Lights. You know, Shimmer Lights from Clairol is still a really good shampoo. I recommend it. You know, your hair can become very silver, very purpley. It is, I believe, a little bit higher in pH. The pH is not in the bottle, and that's the other thing. Typically, the only products I use now have the pH on the bottle. I become a product snob because I took a lot of good classes from Coastline, and pH is how you do everything. If you're not using a good brand of color that has a pH on the bottle, then there's really no point in doing the hair color because what's going to happen is your hair is going to damage. So that is that for this talk on pH and purple shampoos. if y'all have any other questions on purple shampoos, please comment down below. I would love to, talk more about what products you tried. Tell me which ones you liked and did not like, and for why. Was it too expensive? Did your hair feel horrible? There are some purple shampoos in the market that contain sodium chloride. That's table salt. So, parabens and sulfates, while they can be controversial, they're not as bad for your hair as sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is table salt. That is the #1 killer of hair color. Next to pH, because sodium chloride is super alkaline. It's table salt. That strips color right out of the hair. There's shampoos that, like, L'Oreal Kerastase, one of the first 3 ingredients is sodium chloride. Horrible for your hair and scalp, and it defeats the whole purpose. What you would do if you put sodium chloride in a purple shampoo, what that would do is that would cause the pH to jack up, and then you try to stabilize it. Well, that ingredient is still in there, so when you're shampooing, that sodium chloride is going to be stripping your already underlying hair color while you're trying to put more in there. And long-term use will damage hair. So this is it for my talk on purple shampoos. If you've tried any of these products, let me know in the comments down below. Please like, comment, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll be on for more videos for y'all soon.